Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Q&Dayz. This is for you, the viewer, to send in any of your DayZ, zombie, survival, and/or related questions. From this, I'll give my answers and honest feedback and opinions on the questions. Now, if you'd like to have one of your questions answered, leave one in the comments or get in contact with me via my socials. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you do enjoy the content, please hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on more, and it really helps the channel grow. So now that the paperwork's out of the way, let's get into the questions. Now the first question is from Hugh G Reaction, and they ask, with the new 1.15 update live, do you think they went a step too far with the hit indicators? And well, to be fair, I'm completely torn on this feature. On one hand, I look at it and see the dev team is trying something new. Now, nothing ventured, nothing gained, so you can't really blame the dev team for trying something new. And on the other hand, we need to remember at its core, this is a zombie survival game and it's not meant to be easy. So while I may or may not agree with the change, I can, in a way, understand why. Now imagine convincing your best friend to play the game. They first spawn in, they're in a coastal town with no idea where they are. Now, they're not going to know how to fish, how to create a fire to cook the fish. And chances are, even if they find food, they're not going to know how to open a can. And for that chance that they make it slightly inland, they get shot and die with no idea what happened, it's going to hit like a brick of why did I even bother trying? Now you can guide them and tell them what they can do, you can give them as many tips as you can, but they're only going to learn through repetition. So how do you keep them in? I can understand that this may not be a guide for beginners or a how-to, but this is a tool that can aid new players and the casual player base in the course of learning the game. And another thing too is with how overpowered suppressors are and suppressed shooting is, this in fact is a nerf to suppressors, making the shot count a lot more. But does this justify it? I can't say yes or no. But I do believe this feels no more hand-holding than servers with ATMs, traders and safe zones. But on the other side, the devs have added a way for server owners to turn the intensity of it up or down, and also the ability to turn it off completely. Now that's fine, but what about the hardcore player? The one that plays on official servers or vanilla servers, and the owners have kept it on. There's no option there. What I would like to see is an option to be able to turn it off as the player. You can turn the hotbar off, the HUD off, the player and admin messages off. So I would like to see the ability to turn this off too. And we also have to remember that this may not be around forever, and they may tweak it or just straight out remove it during a hot patch or the next update. And we're just going to have to wait and see. And now the second question comes from Daisy Dweller, and they ask, do you think code locks or gate memory will ever come to console? Now this really breaks my heart to say this, but unfortunately I don't think it's going to happen. The devs have established that Dayz is not that kind of game. And for all you console players and those who play vanilla PC Dayz, I 100% understand your pain when I see this. I can understand that the reason they don't want to tilt that way is because in reality, a lock just doesn't work that way. And they want to keep to the realism of having to punch in a combination when opening a gate. But on the flip side, I know why so many want it. There's nothing more annoying than remembering 100 different codes and having to manually enter them to open the gate, then pick up the lock, then close the gate, then attach it without dying. And now you can't have the same code, because if you die during this process, someone's going to pick up the lock, see the combination, and then apply it to the rest. And then they'll easily raid you, and you'll lose it all. And then also, due to the nature of how easy raiding can be, it's not even plausible to have only 1 or 2 gates and only have to remember a handful of codes. And I honestly feel that we're in 2021 and Dayz has come a long way from what it was to what it is now. But as a quality of life change, I feel this would honestly be a positive one. Yes, you lose the reality mechanic of entering each combination before you open the lock, but I would honestly say that not only the console community, but the PC community as well would receive this change with open arms. And just look at this patch, they just allowed server owners the ability to turn the build clipping off, and that's basically like having the build anywhere mod that the PC Dayz players can have on their servers, and I feel like Dayz with that is heading in the right direction. I also feel that this would be an absolutely nice gesture of love to the console community who do miss out on the chance of mods like they have on PC. But unfortunately, it's just not looking like it's gonna happen. But I do feel very positive that they may very well come around. And the last question for the episode is from Seconds Guessing, and they ask, do you ever think there will be a proper made Dayz movie? And also, what movie do you think most matches Dayz? And while that's a good question, I can honestly say that I don't think Dayz will go any further than the fan-made movies that are out there, as the game is based around your story, and what you want from the game is what you can get. The freedoms of choice are in your control. If you want to be the hero and save players from bandits, or you want to be the bandit and kill everyone on sight and hold everyone up, you may even want to start your own business, offering taxi rides or player-made traders. There is honestly nothing stopping you besides you. And obviously other players can slow your progress, but as long as you're committed, the story is yours to create. So with saying that, I don't think Dayz will ever get a movie. Just look at the Resident Evil franchise. It had its core story, and they continued to add on to that throughout the series with a few changes here and there when it came to the movies themselves. But Dayz doesn't really have that. Like, don't get me wrong, it has its base lore, but at times can be a bit skeptical, but that just adds to the fact that Dayz is your story. But if I was to put a movie that I find fits Dayz in that ballpark, it would have to be The Road. Now, some may not agree, as it doesn't have zombies in it, but I would say as far as a post-apocalyptic setting, this is the closest thing to Dayz story-wise, and that's my opinion only. Not only do the struggles the protagonists face match the struggles in Dayz, like cannibals, harsh weather, lack of food, it has banditry and the core principle of never giving up. And the emotions that you feel during The Road strongly relate to Dayz also. And in the movie, the protagonists are never named, and that's a small note to get you as the viewer or the reader to connect and put yourself in their story, and that's just like Dayz. Now, if you have any other movies that you would consider more relatable to Dayz, please put them in the comments and I'll check them out. And I think this will just about wrap up this episode of Q&Dayz. If you have any questions you want featured on the channel, submit them either through my socials below or subscribe and leave a comment below. And I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.